Growing up, I met a lot of fictional characters, from Aang, Tommy, CJ, these guys, that guy, these adventure buddies, Ellie and Joel, and Mabel and Dipper. They mean a lot to me. Granted that they've always been with me when I'm growing up, especially when my body is changing and the characters are going through the same thing that I do at a certain age, like being in school. We've gone through some stuff together, be it midlife crisis, running from special team that's sent to kill you, going through time, or just regular old living. But you can't help but feel some connection with them, wanting to be with them, knowing them, and just go on some adventures with them. Whenever the story ends, I always feel empty, like a part of me is gone and I'm left to deal with the world alone. Well, don't get me wrong, I always have some friends with me when I'm in some trouble or something, but we don't really go through the adventures the same way we do with the fictional characters. Going to other parts of the world, swimming in the water, trying to enter a highly restricted facilities, trying to rescue your teacher from the mental asylum, or just pranking your teacher while he was pooping until he gets poop all over his body. Though this might be possible, but it would bring a lot of trouble. It's like an escape and a fantasy where you're free from the confines and law of the real world. Whenever a show ends, especially when the ending is a bit vague or ambiguous, I always turn to Reddit, YouTube, or any site trying to find some theories about what happened to the characters. Are they well? Did they die? Are they happy? But why am I so invested in their lives? What have they ever given me that I feel this strong connection with them? Well, I think a lot. It may not mean much, but they have shaped what I am today, from the way I think, my core philosophies, the way I behave, my beliefs, and to the ideas that we share. It's a lot. We usually feel some connection with the characters that have the closest personalities to us. Me watching Gordon Ramsay roasting people with all his might wouldn't bring me closer to being angry at people messing up their cooking. But I would be interested in people who read a lot of books, the one who enjoys silence, likes simple things in life, or just generally liking what I like. That's why we feel some connection with them. One of my favorite characters is Dipper from Gravity Falls, because I was the same age as him when the show came out, and I was a little boy just like him. I looked like a nerd, and I was weak and not strong, but I love science and just knowledge in general, though I have some problems with geometry and I'm not as smart as Dipper. But the connection is still there, so I relate to how he feels in the show when he's being bullied or faces an opponent stronger than him. It gives me courage to do the same thing when I'm facing difficulties in the real world. In gaming, I feel closest to Ellie from the first The Last of Us. From her difficult upbringing and to how she struggles to just have some meaning to the society. Her relation with Joel and how she was afraid of ending up alone. But she kind of felt like a stranger in part 2. When I was 12, I used to play a lot of Grand Theft Auto 4, and when I was even younger, I would always play Vice City and San Andreas. But when the game ends, it felt like as if the time stood still. The characters we loved that were once living and breathing with emotions, desires, and drive suddenly felt like an empty vessel. The world is living, pedestrians are still walking and going about their lives, but the story stopped. No progression. I mean, duh. But it's like the characters are somewhat dead or living in a different realities where they've abandoned us with these empty vessels. It's like the time stood still. And Bully is a great example where the chapter itself is called Endless Summer. It's like they're here, but they're gone. Maybe we miss the routine that we did when the show was still there. Like, I would always play Vice City with my siblings. Maybe I miss that feeling. The laughing, joking, And now we're all grown up, there's not much moment now. Maybe I thought I missed the fictional characters, but actually missing the moments with my siblings. Or maybe we just miss how our lives used to be. It makes us remember the things that we have gone through when we were with the characters. Whenever I see Life is Strange, I would always remember my 16-year-old self and my best friend trying to figure life out in high school, just like Max and Chloe. And have you heard the soundtrack of the game? It was very beautiful and nostalgic in a way. Dr. Dale Shackelford, a media psychologist, suggests that this relationship is called parasocial interaction or one-sided relationship. The characters can engage with us or talk to us, but we feel good when spending some time with them after a rough day at work or in school, and we feel affection for the characters. She said the feeling of affection means that we are capable of a lot of empathy. However, this can be dangerous when the obsession gets too much. For example, wanting to marry your favorite characters or not dating anyone just to stay loyal. I sometimes wonder and hope that my favorite characters encounter the specific problems that I face, so I can just do whatever they do in this situation. But it's pretty dangerous to get all dependent like that. I have to think for myself too, even when they mean so much to me. I can't base all my personality to how they behave. I can't lose myself to fictional characters like that just because they have similar personalities. I have to be independent and solve my problems myself. So, no matter how much you love and adore some people, don't forget that you are not them, and the way your life took its course is specific only to you and only you. Back to what I was saying, that we feel connected to people closest to our personality. Maybe that's why I love YouTube so much, because I can meet a lot of people like me. A lot of people I met here have the same mentalities like I do. When my friends say they can't live without TikTok or Twitter, I would say I cannot live without YouTube. I mean, technically I can, but I wouldn't be the same as I am today. I am forever grateful for the internet and what it offers me. A lot of YouTubers I like usually have some kind of anxiety or depression, and maybe that's what brings us here and we somehow connect on that level. I don't know. I didn't have depression or anxiety, but it's like a lot of people do here, and people are more honest here, and I love them for that. It's very different from TikTok or Instagram or Twitter. Here, people are more thoughtful and usually they don't act all cocky. It's a normal reaction to feel sad when your favorite characters go, and the feeling that we feel is loss. That's why many people are sad after watching Avengers Endgame. I usually watch what my favorite characters are doing in their free time. Like, why do they spend so little time being on computer or phone? They're always doing things like going to a creepy house, or they have some kind of crisis in their lives, and it's interesting to look at. I would always copy what they do in their free time, but at the same time, I try to do things that I myself enjoy, and to have some personality myself. Anyway, I would always thank them for being a part of my life, even though it's hard to let them go. And I still feel this longing sensation to be with them. The feeling of wanting to be with my favorite fictional characters, they don't really go away. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video and tell me in the comment below what your favorite fictional characters are. It would help me a lot and I really appreciate it. Thanks guys.